This will be a quick video. I thought I'd use a different background. This is another track I've been working on. I spent more time working on this water than I have anything. This is just something else I'd been trying to finish, and I just got too many things I'm trying to do. Something else I made there in Blender, but this is not finished. None of this stuff back here is finished. It's just, I haven't even decided what I'm going to do with the track, so it's on hold for now. But this video here will be on the menus, the things that pop up on the side. It'll be kind of quick. Unlike my other ones I say is going to be quick that are long videos, this one really will be short. To get those windows, you got three main things. You got your scene tree. All these you pull up from the window here. The scene tree is the most important because this is probably what you're going to use the most. These orange things you see when you're moving around, these are where you can lock the menu to. If you want to move it, you can just left click and drag while holding your left click button, holding your left mouse button rather. You can move these things to lock them in, or dock them is what they call when you dock it to a spot on the thing. Material editor is the next thing. But basically everything in your scene, everything you make, it all goes to the bottom of the list. So whatever you just placed, if you just made a new one, say I made a copy of these rocks, it's going to be at the bottom of the list in your scene tree. Now everything has also got a menu called the inspector. Anything you select, whether it's a particle, a rock, a tree, the ground, the clouds, we can't click the clouds, but basically everything, like I'm just clicking on the terrain, the main terrain, that's your terrain file. This is basically all the ground. Everything has more information over here in the inspector window. Things got various settings for size, height, everything. There's so many different things. It take an hour to name everything that everything possibly has that you can do with each thing. So that's what the inspector is for. The material editor is what it is. It's what you use to edit the materials. These are the main windows, aside from the creation stuff up here at the top, which is your main toolbar. This is what you're going to do with all your texture stuff. Each object's got a texture. If you're looking for a specific texture, you can only see the texture for the object that you currently got selected. For example, if you pick the sky, which you don't select anything by picking the sky, you can then go through your other materials that are available. It's possible when you go to create a new material that you have a window undocked, for example, out floating, and when you say new material, it's possible that a menu can block a menu. That happens, and you're like looking for this thing thinking something's wrong, when in fact it's not. But these are the little menus, and sometimes you have little sub menus that pop up depending on what you pick. For example, you go to work on your terrain tools, you get another menu bar that comes up that's got terrain tool functionality, and if you wanted to paint on the terrain, you get even yet another pop-up, which you can drag this and move this. I usually leave mine floating. I don't usually leave this one docked, but you also can minimize it like this too and just set it up here, so that it can get annoying when you're painting and then you're working on terrain. You know, when you're working on your terrain, then you're flip-flopping between painting and you're working on your terrain. If you got it kind of floating out here, floating, not docked, I mean it's floating, and you say, all right, well, I'm gonna paint me a few rocks here, and now I want to, do a little terrain work. And you want to go back to painting, but you got your window in the way, so you're painting a little bit, then you got to move your window, and then you pick your thing, and then you go back to paint again, and you got to move it back. Well, like I got to move mine all the time because I got so many textures in here that I have to scroll through. I try to leave it out lengthwise, but you can just minimize it so it's just kind of out of the way. You don't have to sit there and fool with it. It didn't undo it that time for me. Make me have to work there. So yeah, you can lock these things in different places so that it's up to you where you want them all. But if any of them's missing, that's where you'll find the main three ones. Asset Browser is another one. This is the one that you pull up your models. Now, if you ever create anything, your own custom models, for example, depending on what folder they're in, I just always go to all models. That will give me every model. Then I don't have to worry about, well, did I stick it in the art folder, the forest folder, or what folder? Pick all models, and they're all in here. The ones that you make, if you make any, even the game models for whatever level that you're editing or making. Now the size of these things, you can edit those too in the editor preferences. Give me a second to find where it's at. User interface, scale. That's scale. That's what these little things, and these are the icon button sizes. You can change those as well if they're too small or too large, depending on your preference. Just know sometimes if they're too large, it's going to make sometimes like these little slider bars difficult to, in some cases, see it all. The only thing that I have seen problems with having stuff not the right size is if you go into, say, do a decal road, for example, and you're putting your decal road down, and in your inspector for that decal road, I have seen where you go to click on this, and this is annoying, but this little bar, and it could just be because I got my screen at 4K, I don't know, but I have to always drag that so I can see it better. It's just a little gripe I have. You can I don't know if it would even help if I put the material editor on the back side. I've never tried that actually. But yeah, it can. Sometimes these windows can get a little frustrating to deal with them. It's not really a whole lot more I can think of. I try to leave. For me, I leave 3 of them up all the time because they're just used so often. I usually don't leave my material editor on the right because what you see, it's just hard to see all this stuff. I use that more than I use that quite a bit actually. So this is just generally how I got mine set up, like this. And I got my scene tree over here. But every one of these you can, when they're not docked, like I said, you can just minimize them and just pull them up when you need them. It's up to you how you want to do everything. Having them in that manner though, it does give you more room to work. And you don't have to always be like worrying about opening something and having to, you got more room basically. So I won't go over all this stuff, but that's just the very basics. Like I said, with these little windows, there's nothing else I can really think. You also got stuff here at the bottom that pertains to certain things. Like if you're picking an object or you're picking a decal, for example, you got different things at the bottom where you can make duplicates or any of these things, or if you're making a river. Say you got a river and you got this river here, and you want to make another river, and you don't want to have to go through the process of like, damn, how did I do that? You know, you want to just start you another river and put it over here, for example, and you want it to use those river properties. All you have to do is, with the river selected, pick that river, hit Control C, copy those river properties, and then go over here and select the other river, Control V, and now that river shares that river's properties. I think you can do that with the bodies of water too. So that's just a little shortcut you can do. Save you some time, because it takes me quite a while to make these rivers, because I gotta get everything just like I want it. Which this one doesn't look like this one. This one's got more stuff going on in it. I got actual objects also embedded inside of my water that give it a little different effect than just the standard water. So that's all I can think. I got another video I'm about to make about the hole in the ground, the earthquake ground, like objects like the roads and stuff. So that'll be what I'm about to work on.